Hi, good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to do the literacy activity from the primary packet for Wednesday, May 13th. So it's kind of a combination of a couple of activities that is from a book that you read a few weeks ago. If you look at your sheet, it's pages 13 and 14 in your packet. And what it says is that you're going to cut the top images out on page 14 and match them into the correct boxes on page 13. So if you look at that, here, it's these pages right here. So this is the page 13. And you'll see there's only 3 boxes. And then here are the pictures on page 14. The actual activity that looks like this, it only has 3 pictures that are supposed to go in here. And those pictures are from the bottom. And if you remember the story about the different characters and what jobs, the title of the story was "What Do You Do?" And it was what jobs these different individuals, their parents, did. We had Lee's dad and Ruby's mom and Tracy's dad, and the jobs that they did and the places that they worked. And it talked about the clothes that they wore. And so this activity is from that story. So I think what I'm going to do is read you the story. And actually, these pictures go with a different activity that you don't have the paper for. These pictures, just these 3, go with this activity. So I'm going to show you a way that you can cut these out and you can kind of sort them as well with this activity, okay? The first thing I think we should do is read the story, because it's been a while since you read the story and you may not have it handy still with your stuff from school. So I'm going to go to that page, if you'll hold tight. It'll take just a minute. What do you do? Boys and girls at school are used to kind of this process. This is how we do our work during our reading group. What Do You Do? By Amy Benn. Every day, Ruby sees her mom leave for work. She wears a suit. She takes a briefcase. What does Ruby's mom do? Where does Ruby's mom go? When Ruby's mom gets home, Ruby asks, "Mom, what do you do?" Ruby's mom says, "I work with a lot of people. I help people get money. I work in a bank." Ruby's mom also says that she works to earn money. She earns money so they can buy a house, clothes, and food. Every day Lee sees his dad leave for work. He wears a uniform. He takes a lunchbox. What does Lee's dad do? Where does Lee's dad go? When Lee's dad gets home, Lee asks, "Dad, what do you do?" Lee's dad says, "I work with a lot of people. I use machines. I work in a factory." Lee's dad also says that he works to earn money. He earns money so that he can buy a house, clothes, and food. Every day Tracy sees her dad leave for work. He wears jeans and a t-shirt. He wears a tool belt. What does Tracy's dad do? Where does Tracy's dad go? When Tracy's dad gets home, Tracy asks, "Dad, what do you do?" Tracy's dad says, "I work for a lot of people. I help build houses. I am a construction worker." Tracy's dad also says that he works to earn money. He earns money so they can buy a house, clothes, and food. People have different jobs. People wear different clothes to work. What job does your mom or dad do? You should ask them that. What do you do? The end. Okay, so now that you're reacquainted with that story, it will help you be able to complete the activity. So if you'd like, you can pause the video and cut out all the pictures, not the strips with the words, but the pictures, because I'm going to show you how you can use those pictures even with all the pictures with the activity. And just be sure to cut on the black lines, okay? Okay. So, why do people work? Why did all of those parents say, what was their reason for why they said they went to work? Do you remember? It said, each of them said, "I work to earn money for a house, to buy a house, clothes, and food." So that is what the title of this activity is. People work different jobs to earn money. And we need people to do different jobs because there are lots of jobs that need to be done in our society. One person, well, everyone can't do just one job because then there would be lots of jobs undone and we would have lots of needs to be filled. So if you look at the original intent of this activity, if you click on this, this represents the bank. This picture represents the factory. And this represents a construction site, building a house. And this is like a map. So these are places on the map. So what you have to do is use the pictures from the bottom that have Ruby's mom, Tracy's dad, and Lee's dad. And those are the ones that actually go with this activity. And you have to remember who worked at what location, okay? So let's pick the thing in the middle, the factory. So if we click on this square, who worked at the factory? Was it Lee's dad, Ruby's mom, or Tracy's dad? Who worked at the factory with lots of people? Let's see. They wore a uniform and they carried a lunch box. Do you remember? Was it Tracy's dad?
Tracy's dad.
Oh no, it wasn't Tracy's dad. Let's try again. Yes, it was Lee's dad.
Lee's dad.
Okay, so what about the bank? That was the first character in the story. Who worked at the bank? There was the clothing was a suit. Oh, I see a suit, and it carried a briefcase. That person? Yeah, Ruby's mom.
Ruby's mom.
And then the last one, since there's only 3, that'll be easy to fill in. Who worked at a construction site building houses? Correct, it was Tracy's dad.
Tracy's dad.
Great work. Now, if you would like to use the other pictures, this is how you can kind of sort them. And instead of just gluing them, you can just kind of sort them and place them in the right area based on the location of where they would go. They actually go with this activity. So we have the 3 characters, Ruby's mom, Lee's dad, and Tracy's dad. But imagine this is the bank, this is the factory, and this is the construction site on the map, okay? So you're going to have 4 pictures that you're going to sort into the bank area. You're going to have 4 pictures that you're going to sort into the factory area, and you're going to have 4 pictures that you sort into the construction site area. And those 4 pictures are going to answer the questions: what is the job? What do they do? What do they wear? And where do they work? Okay, so let's go through this and it will make sense. So if we look at some things that should be in the factory area, which was in the middle of that map. So if we were looking at the factory, what would the job be? What is the job? Is it a factory worker, a banker, or a construction worker? What do you think? Yeah, you're right. It's a factory worker because it's a factory. The factory worker is the job. So you would take this factory worker and you would place it on the map in the area of the factory. Okay? So, if we want to look at what do they do? So let's look in the bank section of what do they do. So in the bank section, what does that worker do? Does that worker help people get money, help build houses, or use machines? Which one would you put in the bank section? Yes, you would match up the money. The bank helps people get money.
Help people get money.
That is what the person does. So if you looked at clothing, what do they wear? And you looked at the construction area, what clothing would you put into the construction area? Would you put a tool belt, a suit, or a uniform? Someone that works on that construction site building a house, what do they wear? A tool belt, a suit, or a uniform? You're right. It said that Tracy's dad wore a shirt, jeans, and a tool belt.
Tool belt.
Okay, and then where do they work? So if you went to the middle one, the factory section, where do they work? This will be really easy. It's the factory. So you're going to match the factory up with the factory.
Factory.
Okay, and so if you went to the bank section and went to what is their job? Is it banker or construction worker? Well, obviously it's the bank, so it's the banker.
Banker.
And what do they do? So If you looked in the construction area, what picture would you put there? Is it help build houses or use machines? Yes, you're going to build houses.
Help build houses.
Wonderful. And a factory worker, what do they wear? A suit or a uniform? Excellent. A uniform?
Uniform.
Wonderful. And for the bank section, where do they work? At the bank.
Bank.
Fantastic. Okay, and then we look at the construction. What is their job? A construction worker.
Construction worker.
Wonderful. And what does Lee's dad, or what does someone in a factory do? Uses machines.
Use machines.
Wonderful. And what does someone in a bank wear? A suit.
Suit.
And where does a construction worker work? At homes.
Homes.
Well done. So you're going to take all of these pictures that you cut out, all 12 of them, and you're going to just sort them, just like this, into those 3 areas on the story map based on the bank area and the factory area of the map and the construction site area of the map. So you're going to end up with 5 pictures kind of in each area. Does that make sense? So that's a way we can modify that activity. I hope you enjoyed today's activity. It was a good refresher from the book that we read a couple weeks ago. And if you had it, I hope that you were able to reread it with me. And if not, I hope you enjoyed that story again. Have a great day, everyone.